Alright, what's up guys? This is CC Creations back with another breakdown video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys a breakdown on my recent works named Limited, and here it is. Alright, so if you guys haven't followed me on Instagram already, I'll leave it down in the description and in the video. You guys can follow me there. I'm gonna do a lot more breakdown videos because my last videos on breakdowns got a lot of attention, so I'm probably gonna be doing a lot of these a lot more often. Before I start, if you haven't seen my last one of my last videos on the breakdown, I've mentioned an app called PeerF. You can gather a lot of inspiration from other artists, or you can go onto Instagram if you need to just to get motivation. Or if you're at an art block, you can just get inspiration, motivation from other artists and just try to build off of that, but not plagiarizing. So that's what I did, is I gathered some inspiration from J Pierce and Avatar, but I've made it into my own style and color. So there's a few things that you need to download to get these kind of assets, and that is I'll show you here on the side panel. The assets that I use are from Botanic and Nisarga. I sometimes use the Grove, which is another add-on where you can build your own trees from the ground up. You can make it the way that you want them to look. It's a really good add-on, but I don't really use it that much because it has a lot of geometry into the model. So I normally just use Nisarga and Botanic. They have really good trees, foliage, rocks, whatever you want to use into your scene. So these two right here are really good. All right, so I'm going to begin on the terrain. We're going to be focusing on the terrain here. It's going to be a little bit slow, but here I just sculpted the terrain the way that I liked it. Added some hills, decreased some of the valleys into the terrain. And then I added right here, you can see here, I just added a particle system and just added grass, made a red. You can see here in the render. And what I did is I just duplicated this terrain and I've added them around into the water, and I just, decreased the size of it for the human to stand on. As you can see here, I'll just click on this one and I just decreased it and scaled it up on the Z-axis, made it a little bit higher up in depth so it can be poking out a little bit more, and added another particle system with the same grass material, or the same grass from Botanic. These little things right here, these little pebbles, rocks, whatever you want to name it, I've brought those in from Bridge, which is another app you guys should download for anything from materials to 3D assets and everything. You sign up and you get everything for free, pretty much. It's a really good app for you to find a lot of great assets and materials. So this is where I got these little rocks from, is from Bridge, and I placed them pretty much around the terrain and in the foreground and in front of the human to get a little bit more detail. Same goes for these big rocks right here. You can see on the edge of the water and on the up ground on the terrain. Place it all the way in the back. These are just rocks that I got off of Quixel Bridge, and I hand placed them. As you can see here, these are 4K textured. That's pretty much it for the foliage, for the rocks. As I said, the grass material, or the grass, is from Botanic. I just went to grass, and I think I grabbed this one, and I just used the particle system, and yeah, used it on the terrain. I also use white paint, just white paint over where the area I want the grass to be shown, so it's not in the water. It's just on the upper ground of the terrain itself, in front of the human. I've added a variation of trees here in the scene. I've added a few tropical trees, the main tree of the focus of the image, and these cool looking avatar trees, and these regular trees all the way in the background. That's all together, as I did another particle system. You can see here, right here, and right here, these are the assets that I use. So I just went to object properties, put it on bounds, make everything look faster. But these are the trees that I use for the background, for the particle system. Let's just put that on bounds so it's not slowing you down your computer. Alright, moving on to the water. Here I just scaled it pretty much covering the whole scene. And this is what it looks like. Sorry. You can copy, if you need some water materials, you can just copy these settings. I just have the metallic all the way up blue. There's the hex code. You want the same color as I have it. Metallic all the way up, clear code all the way up, bump into the normal strength. You can just copy these if you need to. I was doing a lot of experimentation just to get it right, and I just came across this, and I did have this in the emission. I did have this at first, and then I didn't really like it, so I just, took that off and just made a regular water material. This middle tree, the focus tree, I've added a little bit vibrance to it and emission, so it's giving a little bit more light to it. Then I've added this triangle. This is just a curve. I've just added a curve, which is I don't remember what I used. It's one of these, and then I just edit it, put some depth on it, and then I just put an emission on it, 50 strength, white, and it came out pretty good. You can use any human model. I got my human model off of Humano 3D, but depending on your scene, you can use any model that you want depending on how your scene looks. The character gives off more life to it, so I just used a human model from Humano 3D. I can leave it down in the description. You guys can follow or get a look at some great models that I used. But here, this model, I pretty much use this guy right here, and then I just let me click on him real quick. Right here, I just use the emission strength to 5, put him on white, and then you just copy these settings if you ever use this kind of model for your scenes. The fog, I've added fog in the background. Put it on white. Don't mess with this. And then I, depending on how your scene looks, you can mess with it just to get a different lighting source of the fog. But just put it on 0 for this scene. And then density, you don't want it too high because it'll mess your scene up. So just play around with this. I would normally just put 0.01 to 5, depending on what the scene looks like. So just keep it low. I just had it on 0.03. And I covered up the whole scene with the fog. See here, the whole scene is covered up. Alright, now going on to the lighting, I've added a few light sources, which one is the sun, giving it off more light into the whole scene. Then I got the point light, which is the spotlight I use for the side angle of the light coming from the left side, pointing down onto the edge of the trees right here. As you can see, the light coming down, which is the spotlight, giving off more light to the trees and to the ground, so that you know that there's light coming from the sky from this side instead of from this side. And then I added a starlight sun, which is another great add-on. Right here. Which is, hold on, this cool atmosphere. I just played around with these settings and I turned it off from the glossy, so it's not showing it on the water, and the volumetric. As you can see here, if I turn this off, no more light is being shown from side view, which kind of looks bad in my opinion. And then turning it on, looks a lot better. Excuse me. All right. And then the sun gives off more area of the light into the whole scene. If I turn that off, you can see. Well, that looks kind of good, actually. I'm not gonna lie. I like the darkness of this. It's pretty sweet. The more that you know, if you play around with your scenes, you get better images. But yeah, that's pretty much the breakdown video on how I achieved this piece. So if this helped in any way, please leave a like, comment down below, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.